Here's why sprints are the most effective workout on the treadmill. 1, muscle building.
Nearly every Olympic sprinter is lean, muscular, and proportionate.
2, because of the intensity, treadmill sprints burn fat at a faster rate than walking or jogging. 3, it's time efficient. You can get in and get out in a shorter amount of time so that you can move on with your day.
Not to mention all the other benefits backed by research studies, which I talk about further in this video.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Sprint Project. It's Caesar here. In this video, we're gonna go over the most effective treadmill workout there is:
incline sprints. Now that we've covered part 1, we're gonna discuss how to do treadmill sprints, mistakes to avoid, and 2 ways to instantly improve your technique on the treadmill. Let's get into it.
There's 3 steps to this. Step 1, we can begin with a 5-minute power walk. Step 2, we're gonna do some dynamic stretching, beginning with side leg swings, continuing with front leg swings. These 2 movements alone will dynamically stretch nearly every muscle in your legs before getting started. Also, don't forget shoulders, since they are a key component of sprinting. Step 3, we're gonna begin running on the treadmill.
The most critical component of this workout is to set your incline to at least a level 5 or higher. This gives us 3 major advantages. Advantage number 1, auto-correct your foot strike. When your body is at an angle with an incline, your foot is encouraged to land naturally closer to your center of gravity on the forefoot. Advantage number 2, lower stress on the joints. With an improved foot strike, you will have a softer landing, which reduces the stress on your joints, such as the knees and ankles. Advantage number 3, more benefits with less risk. Because a significant incline drastically increases the intensity of your workout, you can afford to sprint at a slower speed if you need to. And you can still get most of the benefits without the risk typically associated with high-speed running. There's actually specialized treadmills designed with a curve for sprinting, but many gyms don't have one because they cost way more than a normal treadmill. Instead, you can get almost the same advantages from any treadmill using a significant incline.
Once the incline is ready, we are gonna begin with 30 seconds on with 1 to 3 minute rest in between each round. The first round will be more of a fast jog than actual sprinting. The level you begin at depends on your fitness level. Personally, I begin at around a level 7. Then every round, increase the speed by 0.5. How many rounds you do will depend on your fitness level. I typically aim for about 10 rounds total, and I think it's very doable by most people as long as you don't start off too fast and increase gradually. Now, here's how you monitor the intensity using the 3-zone test.
Immediately after sprinting, say the alphabet or some other sentence like, "Yo, hit the like button for me. I'm out here running in this brick weather just to get this clip." At this point, I can speak comfortably, no issues. And if it's easy to speak, then you are in zone 1. This is where you should be during the recovery period. Then after sprinting at a higher intensity, repeat again. At this point, I can speak fine, but it does feel a bit uncomfortable. And if it's uncomfortable, but still very doable, you're in zone 2. Finally, repeat this at a higher and higher intensities until it's hard to speak. For example, okay, right now, I just did a full-on sprint. You're officially in zone 3. This is where you want to be during our sprints once we get over those initial warm-up rounds.
By the way, 1 pro tip, if possible,
set up 2 treadmills, 1 for sprinting and 1 for the recovery period, so that you don't have to worry too much about changing the speed.
Part 3, mistakes to avoid, which, to be fair, most of us make when we run on the treadmill. Mistake number 1 is landing flat-footed. This occurs when your foot contacts the running surface completely flat, or even worse, on your heels. In one study, they even confirmed that on the treadmill, subjects landed with a flatter foot than when sprinting on the ground.
Using the incline will help dramatically, as we mentioned earlier. However, it's important to be aware of this mistake to further prevent it from happening.
Mistake number 2, poor heel recovery.
This occurs when you're stepping far ahead of your hips, causing your heel to drag far behind them, which puts excessive stress on your hamstrings because they have to work harder to recover the leg. Compared to a correct heel recovery where the foot doesn't get too far behind the hips.
Now that we know what not to do, let's talk about 2 ways to instantly improve your sprints on the treadmill. 1, you want your arm to complete a full arm swing. This generates more power as you push off the treadmill with each step. And it's gonna help you a lot towards the end of your workout when your body begins to fatigue and the arms naturally wanna give out. 2, you wanna keep your core engaged, almost like you're about to get punched in the stomach. By engaging your core, you will maintain balance and prevent your body from rotating side to side, which is essential on a treadmill where you're running in a small surface and you have to maintain a straight path. Also, when you rotate the torso excessively, you put unnecessary stress on your lower back. Keeping your core engaged will protect your lower back, whether you do sprints on the treadmill or on the ground outdoors at a track.
Incline sprints by far are the most effective treadmill workout for fat loss, and hopefully this video can help you get to your goals even faster.
To learn more about sprinting and how to use it to build an athletic physique, become healthier and get faster, click here or here. And before you go, hit the like button if you found this helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.